I think, in hockey, it's like a brotherhood, right? Like we all care about each other, especially when you've played the game and you're in that circle. Jimmy just happened to be a guy that I got to know at a very young age, his family, and now I have a ton of friends in Boston, people that I actually consider family really that live in Boston, but that's kind of where it started for me. And I'll tell the story, but, Jimmy was obviously a well-liked guy. And, for me personally, for a lot of the kids watching or hockey players that are watching that may be playing at a pro level, to see a guy around your age, right? Jimmy's my age. And to see someone go that soon, it opens up your eyes. It should touch everyone. It should definitely touch every guy that's 31 or an 89 birth, that's playing hockey right now. To see a guy go that young, it just opened up my eyes to just making sure that every day you're living, to the best of your ability and you're enjoying it. So remember, keep in mind, Jimmy's 7, we're 7, 8 years old at this time, right? So everybody loves to talk about Jimmy in the NHL, but this is my favorite story because this is like before anybody probably really even knew Jimmy, before I even really knew him. And he comes to my house in Etobicoke. His dad comes over because we were playing an afternoon game and the dad was going to drop Jimmy off at our house. And then we were going to go to the game together. And Jimmy had like half gear on. And I'll never forget this. My mom telling me the story. So I didn't answer the door. My mom and dad answered the door. So Big Kevin walks up, Jimmy walks up with him. They ring the doorbell. My mom opens the door and Jimmy, and everybody talks about his dancing, how bad his dancing is. He does this dookie shuffle like at the front door. And he's like, Mrs. Subban, like doing this dookie shuffle. And my mom, like, I remember this. Now I go back a few weeks ago, and that's how my parents remember Jimmy. That's how they remember him, because when I told my parents the news, before it all came out, I kind of knew about it about 7 a.m. I was on my way to the gym, and I got the news, and then it came out about 12 or 1 o'clock. And the first call that I made was to call my mom. And I told her, I said, Mom, do you remember Jimmy Hayes? And she goes, yeah, that's the kid that did the dance at the front door. Like she remembered that from 20 years ago. She goes, isn't that the kid? I go, he's from Boston. She goes, yeah, I remember he was doing the dance with his dad in front of the door. And I'm like, yes, Mom, that's him. And I obviously broke the news to her. And, when I got to Boston, when I flew in on the Saturday, and I got to spend about 3.5, 4 hours with Big Kevin at Erie Pub. And, my closest friend, Chris O'Sullivan, who was born and raised in Dorchester, one of the first guys to really make it out of Dorchester and play pro hockey. I flew in to see him, and we ended up bumping into Big Kevin. We spent about 3 or 4 hours, and I was actually able to FaceTime my dad, and he and Big Kev spoke for a little bit. And, it's really, really tough. And when I look at that story, I'm happy that I was able to have a moment with him earlier on in my career. It sucks we never got to play together in the NHL, but obviously I know Jimmy and his dad and Kev really, really well. And they're such a great family. And I got to tell you, I was so taken back by the funeral and the service. It was amazing. For anybody who wasn't there, who wonders of what it was like, it was beautiful. It was so well done.